Hi everyone, it's Carrie Fennell here. As promised, I was going to come on at noon Eastern Standard Time, or Eastern Savings Time, however you pronounce it, to show off two of our newest mediums. One is going to be the modeling material, and the other one is going to be the 3D stencil fiber paste. That's a mouthful. So we're going to go over these two awesome new mediums. Now these are just shipping to stores today, so they will be getting them in, so please be patient as they place their orders and wait for the shipments to arrive. They're just as excited as you are, but we kind of wanted to come on here just to kind of introduce these products to you so you could decide if this was something you really wanted or needed. So we'll start with the modeling material. I'm just going to kind of wait just a few more seconds for people to log on and to see what I'm doing here. All right, so, and I'm truly excited because my box literally just arrived from Prima right before I was about to go live. And I was so excited because that meant that I had the actual packaging of what it looks like and some of the new molds that you guys have been going crazy over. So I'm going to be using these with the new modeling material just to show you what it's like and how awesome it is to use in these, okay? So that was really good news. I know, woohoo, is right, Roz. I was so excited. I was like, no way. And then, of course, I had to just make a couple just before I went on just to kind of test it. But look how sweet that bee is, right? And look at the crown. Like, I'm dying. And the modeling material just worked like magic in these little guys. So, and it's really, really cool. Hi, Stacey. Hi, Shannon. I know, I love it too. Okay, so I see people are logging on and saying hi to me. So I'm gonna get going. If I miss you saying hi, it's because I'm gonna get down and dirty, get down to work. Hi, Brooke. Brooke, I owe you an email. I will be emailing you back today, hopefully. I've been overwhelmed with lots of emails and messages, so I apologize. Okay, so this is our new modeling material. It's going to come in a reusable bucket like this. It is non-toxic. The bucket is about 2 pounds. So it tells you exactly what it is, what it does right here in the packaging, and then also an explanation on the back as well, which is really cool. And then it gives you kind of like a little bullet list of just some fun facts. You know, I don't know if they're fun, but they're facts. Completely air dry, not for baking or firing. Okay, that's good to know. Before drying, can withstand highest temp of 150 degrees Fahrenheit and lowest 70 degrees Fahrenheit. After drying, can withstand highest temp of 350 degrees and lowest of 70 degrees. Okay, well, good to know. So this stuff is amazing. I'm just going to do a side-by-side comparison of how it's different from our paper clay, which our paper clay comes in these little buckets like this. And it's a more dense material, the paper clay is. And that makes it a little trickier to work with. It's not quite as soft and silky, and I'm going to show you right now. So here is the modeling material and here is the paper clay. So you can kind of, I don't know that you can really see, but when you start to tear apart the clay, you can see that it's drier. You know, it does need to be kneaded. It does need to be manipulated and kind of warmed up in your hand before you can really kind of get it down and dirty into your molds. And the modeling material is more soft and silky. It almost has like this, I've been using a lot of food analogies lately, and I'd have to say that this is a lot like fondant, you know, fondant frosting. It's very, very smooth. I can break it apart, but it's easily put back together. This is going to be a much friendlier material for people to use if you have arthritis in your hands or you just have a hard time, you know, manipulating these kind of things. This might be your go-to choice. Okay, so again, it's very silky, very smooth, and you can see that I'm just pushing it with my hands. It's taken us about, I don't know, a year to develop this this material itself and make it so that it was useful and easy to work with and just awesome for our DIY projects. So with that said, you know, that's the difference between the two. The paper clay is going to give you a much more aged finish with your appliques. Like, it's going to crackle a little bit more. It's going to have more of that rustic look, you know, and this is going to be a little bit smoother, but it will crackle a little bit to give you kind of that rustic look as well. So I'm just going to demonstrate the modeling material and some of our molds, just so you can kind of get an idea, you know, of how this is going to go. So like I was saying before some of you logged on, I just happened to get my box in the mail right before the show started, and I was so excited. So these are the new knob molds. So, and I made a couple just kind of playing around. They're really cool and they're adorable. So I'm just gonna grab a little piece and I'm just gonna stick it right in one of these molds. And I'm gonna show you how it works for me, and so you don't get frustrated, you know, with all the tiny details and stuff. I find it hard if you try to pull, you can't pull the material out of the mold. You're gonna have to take the mold and manipulate that to get it out. And I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about right now. So I think I'm gonna go for, I don't know what I'm gonna go for. I think I'm gonna go for a butterfly. I'm just gonna go with it. So now I'm just gonna push the material right into the mold really well, so that I'm making sure that I'm just pushing it in so that it can really get into all those little grooves and details of the mold itself. Because you don't want to put it in partially, and then you're gonna miss a lot of the details that are in there. And you could see how that just went so well. That was easy, right? And it's relatively flat. Like, it didn't take any time at all with just the smoothing of my finger. It went flat, done, okay? Now what I like to do is take my mold and I turn it upside down and I curl the mold. So hopefully those little antennas won't give me too hard of a time. They might. And there it is. Came out perfect. So just take your time with it. Kind of get the feel for it, but look, can you guys see all the little details in the, oh look, there's already dirt speckles in it from my dirty work surface. That's fabulous. So really, really simple. Hey, Michelle. Hi, Reedy. So how cool is that? So, you know, like I said, I was playing with these before you came on, and look at, hi guys. I'm back. I hope I'm back. I'm not sure what happened with my internet. But let me know if you can see me this time. I guess the last one kept freezing and cutting out, and people were messaging me, letting me know they couldn't see me anymore. So let me know if you can see me again. I apologize for that. I don't know what's going on. Okay, once I start seeing people log on. Oh, I see. Oh, okay. So I think some people are watching me again. Sorry about that. I don't know what's happening. You know, the technical stuff happens, right? It just happens. So where did I leave off? I have no idea because I was frozen. Well, hello again. Yes. Okay, so I don't know where I left off, but here are the sweet little appliques on my knobs. For anybody just joining me, I am working with, okay, good. I am working with the new modeling material and some molds, and I just happen to put the molds on some knobs. So that's what I was playing with last time I talked to you guys. So I'll kind of go over it again. The modeling material comes in a packaging like this, a bucket. And this is awesome because it's going to keep everything nice and, you know, moist. I can't really open it right now because my hands are really slippery. But anyway, it comes in a 2-pound container. Okay, so it's going to keep everything safe. And remember, we talked about the modeling material. It's very soft, silky, very smooth, easy to manipulate. And I was just using it in the other video in some of our new knob silicone molds. Was dirt in butter. Oh, okay. Okay, so should I go over it again then? Let's see, so dirt. And the butterfly. Ah, yes, there was a little bit of dirt in the butterfly. Yes, it's right there. Yes, because my area is a mess. So cool. So you guys saw that. If I need to do it again, let me know. I'll try to watch. Okay. So I also want to use it in some of our standard sized silicone molds. This one is called In the Garden, and it is really pretty. It has flowers and everything in it. And so you just saw me take it out of the little teeny ones. I will put this into a bigger mold just to show you. And I like to use the butt of my hand just to kind of smooth it in there, because that just kind of helps me. And then I can use my fingertips to manipulate a little bit. So I apologize for the technical glitches. You know, for all I know, my internet they could be working on it in the neighborhood, and I didn't get the memo, which is typical. All right. So hopefully everything will be okay and good. And I said hi, Michelle, too. Awesome. You heard that part. Okay. So, yeah. So, I mean, honest to gosh, I am just smoothing that in. I'm pressing it in. And I flip my mold upside down. And I just pull it out like that. So, here is a really pretty flower I made. Okay. So this material, once it dries, it will kind of crack a little bit. You know, it's air dry. Like I said, you can take it and put glue on it, put it on your surface, and start painting away. There will be a little bit of shrinkage of the material as it loses moisture, so you're going to have a little bit of touch up to do. And that's usually the case when working with some clays and stuff, because they are air dry clays, so they lose moisture, they will shrink, they will crack a little bit depending, you know, on how thick you make it, how thin you make it. Okay, so this one I dried by itself, so you can see a little side-by-side comparison of how much it shrinks just all on its own, right? I just took it out of the mold and I left it to dry overnight. No problem. So on a project like this, though, you can see I added it to this vase. All right, so I just glued stuff down. It shrunk a little bit, but not enough to like make a huge impact on my project. It, you know, I have some crackles here in my little leafy branches, but I will admit, you know, playing around with this, I should have made them a little bit thicker. I also think that it's very dry in my house. I have forced air, so I mean, they really shrink. But I like that look. If you don't like it, like I said, make it thicker in the mold, and you should be fine. You can see that the flower is basically perfect. Okay, so I'm just blaming myself because I just used it for the first time, and I think I made it a little bit too thin, and that's so you can learn from my mistakes. So I just adhered them to this vase, and I painted right over it. And the next thing I do, I'm not sure what I'm going to do next with it. I don't know if I'm going to do a glaze or if I'm going to just wax. I'm not sure. So to be determined. But I wanted to show you what it looked like, you know, once you put it on a project and let it dry. I always like to paint my surface first and then glue them down and then paint again, because it really helps in the frustration department, where you don't need to get into every little nook and cranny if you're going to go really detailed. So if you have that forethought, you know, to just paint your surface first, then glue down the appliques and then touch them up when you're ready, that's the way to go. I mean, that just saves you a lot of aggravation and time, in my opinion. Okay, so the modeling material is shipping to stores now. They are ordering and getting, but I know a lot of the stores kind of waited too to see what everyone's reaction would be, what you guys thought about it. You know, they do very purposeful ordering and careful ordering, and they wanted to, you know, kind of see if this is something that people are really going to want to get or use. Okay. And once we introduce it to the public, then they kind of know. So if you guys say you really, really like it, then they're like, okay, we're going to give this a go. Some of them just went right ahead. So, you know, like I said, just be patient with them. They are getting it in. They should have it in within the next week, the stores. Some of our international Distributors are getting it in. It's going to take a little extra time than that for them. So, but they are getting it in, so they can, let their stores know when it's arriving, and therefore they can let you know. So that's kind of the deal. It just takes a little longer to get further distances away, obviously. Does anybody have any questions so far? Hey, should I do another knob mold? This one is called Regal Findings. It's 5 by 8 inches. It says it's food safe, so that's cool. So if you're like a baker or you want to make cute little things for cookies or something, or cupcakes, this is awesome. I would buy one for crafts and one for food though. I wouldn't mix the two. I just think that's probably safer. And these just wash with warm soapy water, and let them air dry. And that's what I would do. Okay. Wish I got that one. The large clock mold. Oh, I have that. It just came. Okay, here it is. Elysian Clockworks. So, pull this one out if you guys want me to. And, they're really pretty. Really, really detailed. So I can use the modeling material in one of these if you guys would like. Just a little shrinkage, yes. Hi. Yeah, I love the clocks too. I think they're super fun. And everyone likes to incorporate these into their decor. I think that they're just kind of standard and cool. All right, I'll try this one here. I don't know how much clay I'm gonna need, so I'm probably using a lot. But look at that. That's like so smooth. And it doesn't stick to my hands. Oh, just a teeny bit, but I mean, my hands are pretty clean. So that's another difference too. I know sometimes working with the paper clay can be a little messier, but like I said, it just depends on the finish you want and how you want it to look. So I'm just peeling away the excess as I go. I don't know, guys. I think this is pretty much it. I think that this stuff is just amazing. And I was really excited to show you. And I was going to show you before my box came because I do have some, but the box came, so that was a bonus. So I can kind of show off the new molds as well. Okay, so remember, flip it upside down, manipulate the mold, and there you go. It's pretty perfect. It's a little wonky on that side, but who cares? Look at how much detail that modeling material picked up. I mean, that's just incredible to me. So it really, really, really gets into those nooks and crannies and all those beautiful little added accents perfectly. It's so easy to use. I'm telling you. I mean, you can, get your hands on it and just kind of practice and play. But I mean, just going from, a teeny tiny, mold to a larger, it didn't really seem to make a difference in the results. They came out equally as beautiful. So I'm so excited. So here, let me make a crown. Sorry, you guys. I feel bad. Like I'm just sitting here playing. I'm not trying to make you. Well, maybe I'm making you watch me a little bit, but okay. So there you go. All right. And I'm just gonna peel back that mold. And look at that. Even that tiny little detail at the top came out like beautifully. Isn't that cool? Telling you. So this is the stuff to use if you want these highly detailed little, hopefully it'll focus. Look at that. It's not very, I didn't add a ton. It's not too thick. It's kind of thin. It'll go right on your knob, and you can just kind of bend it to go with the, bend it lightly. I mean, don't go crazy, but just kind of, with the curve of the knob. you're good to go. So, and even if you want to make sure it stays that way, you can glue it down and then maybe use a little bit of painter's tape, you know, just to kind of hold it while the glue dries. And then I would give it with the glue 20 minutes maybe, and then you can go right to it with paint. Okay, so are you guys loving this new modeling material as much as I am? You love the crown. Teresa, I love the crown too. They do look pretty amazing. I'm actually blown away myself. And like I said, it took us a good year to really develop this material and get it just right and have it work perfectly. So you can use it in the highly detailed molds and use it with our, you know, our new products that have come out. So pretty awesome. Okay. Hi, Liliana. Quick question to all. I missed that question. Hopefully someone can answer. I missed it, but I can go back on after the live is over and answer questions too. So if nobody gets to your question or answers you, let me know. I'm gonna go back in and I'll try to answer questions or comments and comment on it. If anybody's watching this later, like after the live is done, just tag me, say, you know, at Carrie Fennell, and just ask the question. That way I'll get a notification and I won't miss it. Okay, I gotta put my paper clay back in. All right, so next, are you guys ready for the next round? So many uses. Hi, Tanya. Okay, so the next round, the next new fantastic medium we've introduced with this release, it's called 3D Stencil Fiber Paste. Now, I think they've put 3D stencil on there so that people would know that it goes with our 3D stencils. If you're not sure what our 3D stencils are, they are extra thick stencils. You know, they're not real. They're a little bit thicker Mylar, and they hold their shape really well. And these are meant to be used with a heavier medium. It can take it. It'll give you dimension because it is a thicker material. It'll give you dimension when you use it on projects with a medium. And we came out with this medium to use with them. So they go kind of hand in hand. So I'm just going to kind of go over, again, you have all of the explanation in the packaging right here. It tells you kind of what it is, what you can use it on, and that includes furniture and walls. It creates a unique rustic and worn look. That's very true. It does. Okay. Yes, this stencil is gorgeous. This is called Alessandro Flourish. And I used it, I did a couple step outs to show you guys what it looks like and all that stuff. So this is the one I use. It's called Alessandro Flourish 3D Stencil. Okay, so the paste, it comes with that hard cover just like our chalk paste do, right? And it kind of seals everything in nice and keeps it nice and fresh. So fresh that I can't get it off. There we go. So you just peel that off and you can look at the inside. Now this is very much like marshmallow. Like I told you, I'm going to go with the food analogies, guys. It reminds me of a very thick marshmallowy paste. I'm just going to pull a little bit out for you so you can see how thick that is. And there is fiber in the paste. So you can see those little peaks right there. The fibers are in there to add strength to the paste. So you don't have to worry if it's going to be on a furniture that's used, or maybe a wall that's going to have fingerprints and hands on it, you know, it's going to stand up to it. And that is amazing. Okay. So it's very, very thick. You can use this with the 3D stencils with confidence, and you can use it on many surfaces with confidence that it's going to stay on. Yes, this stencil should be available in stores. This we released, I believe it was either August or September. So this one should be available, yes, in stores. Or if not, just message your favorite store in your area or someone you like to shop with and request it, and they can order it for you because they do special. Some of the stores do special orders. Okay, so I am going to show you really quickly. I have this one, and it's a flourish. This is the Sonnet Flourish, and it is like a scroll that kind of comes around, and I have this weird shaped vase. It's kind of an MDF vase. It's exactly the same one that I used this on. So I had a couple in my stash, and I thought these would be perfect to showcase, you know, the styles and stuff really quickly for you, and show you the application process. Why not? Okay, so I'm going to grab some of that. And I don't mind that the whole stencil doesn't fit on the surface of my project, because I kind of look at it like this, and I think it's still going to be beautiful. Okay, so I am going to just kind of swipe this on. I'm using a heavy-duty silicone applicator. I've had this for years. It's just a spreader. So any kind of spreader will work for you guys, because like I said, you need something to spread this on with that's relatively thick and that's not going to have a lot of give to it. So I'm just making sure that I've got a nice coat on there, okay, and where I want it. I'm going to take off the excess and just kind of glide this down over the stencil just to remove the excess. Yeah. The harder you press with your applicator, or with whatever you decide to use, if it's a palette knife or whatever, the harder you press, you're going to have less dimension, and then the thicker you apply it, obviously you're going to have a thicker dimension of the stencil image. Okay, so now I can go ahead. I use painter's tape just to hold my stencils in place. It really comes in handy, especially when I'm doing a lot of manipulation. Okay, perfect. Now you're going to want to go and kind of rinse this off soonish. Just it won't hurt or damage the stencil, but you know, if you're like kind of a clean freak about your stencils, you know, you might want to just kind of get it cleaned up quick. Okay, so I just had a little bit go over the edge, but let me show you up close. So you can kind of see that it's dimensional, I think. Hopefully the camera's picking that up. And it came out like perfect. So you have these nice sharp edges, nice and crisp. And that is because of the thickness of the paste itself. The fiber in it held its strength when you swiped it over, so it stayed put where it was supposed to be. There was nothing went underneath the stencil. You know, sometimes you get that seepage under a stencil and you're like, oh man, you know, this didn't do that at all. And that's the beauty of why you want something a little bit thicker, just to keep that image where you want it and not have it go all over the place. Okay, so isn't that cool? So yeah, so I'll let that dry. It's probably going to take a couple hours to dry, depending on how thick you add it. The thicker you add it, the longer it's going to take to dry. You can speed up the process a little bit with a heat gun. Okay, apparently we were frozen again, and the live chat was saying that there weren't any more awesome things coming from my camera. So I was like, what the heck? So we'll try this one more time and maybe hopefully get through this and hopefully make this work. I'm so sorry. I don't know if it's my phone or if it's the internet connection. I'm back, Mallory, I think. You know, I don't really know. I just see that you guys write that I'm frozen or that I'm gone, and I'm kind of taking your word for it that I'm probably not there anymore. Okay, I'm just gonna put, I know, I'm going to just put my my phone back into the holder here, so just bear with me for a sec. I'm gonna try not to make everyone seasick. Okay, here we go. Yeah, this stencil is pretty cool. It's so beautiful. I love it. Okay, so anyway, I was talking about, I don't know where it left off, but I was talking about the capabilities and how tough this stuff is. So I just took some fine grit sandpaper, and I can just get rid of all those sharp edges, you know, carefully or not carefully, whichever, and that does the trick. So it gets rid of any little peaks that come from, you know, the stencil being pulled up from, you know, the project. And once it was dry, I just went in it with a little sandpaper, and that was it. So this stuff is very, very durable. Last you were saying about, oh, I missed it. Oh, I keep missing the messages. Ah, hi Cheryl. Okay, so again, tough, durable, awesome. And then another step out I did is I just kind of wanted to show you what the 3D effects will give you. So let's just pretend I've sanded this. It's been painted over, and then I went at it with a glaze. So I kind of went at it with like a dark brown glaze. Hi, Lindsay. And that really it was awesome. I just kind of brushed it on, and then I pulled it away with a cloth, and it just stayed in all the crevices. So that's kind of the unique effect you're going to want to get on your projects. You're going to want to just kind of do fun things like that and get that dimension, get that effect. You could do this on your walls, you can do this on your furniture, you can do it on any single thing you want. This is just a plain piece of wood board that I was using to demo with. Could you leave it rough? Yeah, of course. You can leave it rough and not sand at it at all. It's absolutely fine. It's just that you know, there's just a tiny bit of an edge or lip next to where the stencil is, and it's just a little sharp. So you don't have to do anything with it. You can leave it as it is if you like it. I was just letting you know you can remedy that with just a quick swipe of the sandpaper and smooth it. The other cool thing I didn't mention was when I sanded this one, I kind of went heavy in some areas and not as heavy in others. So it kind of looks uneven, which I think will give it more of an authentically aged kind of appearance, you know, because not everything is perfect when it's old and rustic. So I kind of went heavy in some places. Plus I wanted to test to see just how far down I could sand it without damaging it. And I mean, I have to say, you know, it was fine. I just couldn't damage it. So it really, you know, withstood a lot of wear and tear with the sandpaper. So that's another awesome quality about the 3D stencil fiber paste. Just really cool. I am so impressed, really. Oh, and I wanted to tell you too, okay, I was running out of things to stencil on, okay guys, so don't make fun of me too bad. So hold on, I'm just gonna reach out. I had this piece of wood in the garage, and I was playing with it just as like a test surface, you know, because it's just a scrap piece of wood. I used the stick and style stencil roll. It's the new like gloss paper, you know, disposable stencil rolls we have. And I put it on this board, and I just swiped that 3D stencil paste over it, and it turned out beautiful. So, you know, it worked with a paper stencil. So, and it's crisp, it's clear, you can see every detail. So this stuff can be used with regular stencils or our stick and style stencil rolls. This one's called Tea Rose Garden, so it has a lot of detail in it. So that's another thing I wanted to point out to you. If you could look, oh, it would look fab as like a faux wallpaper. And here's a little secret. Well, it's not really a secret, but see, I played with this board before with the stick and style stencil rolls. Can you see that? So I used chalk paste with it, and then later on I was like, okay, well I gotta use this for something else, and I just swiped over it with the paint, and then I added that glaze, and look, you can still see. So imagine adding just the texture alone of the stencil roll, you know, to your walls, just as kind of like a very pretty and subtle pattern. But isn't that cool? Can you guys see that? I hope you can. I hope it's picking up. But that's what happens when you're just playing around and you run out of surfaces to use for other products. Yeah, pretty cool, right? So the other thing, you know, I did just kind of swipe it on here onto the piece of wood just to see what it would look like just using as is. And it kind of has that really cool plaster effect. And I was very impressed by that. I thought that's kind of cool too. So if you wanted to kind of shim your walls and add a little texture on the corners or something, or onto something, you could totally do that with this paste as well. And then you can go in and sand it maybe in areas and make it look even more worn and uneven if you want to. I mean, this stuff is just, I'm really, really impressed with it. I know I work for the company, but I was having so much fun just playing with it, and I thought it turned out great. So that's just my 2 cents. Crazy question. Could you, what was it? Could you pre-color the paste? No, that's not a crazy question. Actually, when I introduced this to the store owners, they asked the same thing, and you absolutely can. It's very, very thick. I would just be careful because, you know, when you're tinting, if you want to tint it or add color to it, let's say a powder, like our artisan powders we have, you're going to make it a little drier with a powder. So just kind of counter, I can't even talk. Add a little water to it if you're going to add powder, just to make sure you doesn't stiffen up too much, okay? If you want to add a tint to it, like let's say a permanent ink, you can absolutely do that. I think it would be absolutely fine. Or you could just, you know, it just depends on what you want to do with it. So you could use a paint, just don't use too much, because the wateriness of the paint is going to change the whole dynamic of the paste, and it's going to thin it a little bit. So just kind of be mindful of that, and play with it a little bit, test it. But yeah, it's a white paste, and I'm thinking too that the fibers in the paste are going to absorb that color really beautifully. I think it's meant not only to give it substance, but also hold color as well. So I absolutely think you could. Yeah, you could use color pigments, something really highly concentrated is what I would recommend. Yeah, you absolutely could color it yourself though. We have mica powders. Prima has mica powders. We have the artisan powders. I'm trying to think what else, but we definitely have, you know, art mediums that will tint it, and I can play around with it and let you guys know what the results are if you want. But yeah, I agree. Ink would be perfect. You know, India ink is like just, it's highly concentrated ink, and it's permanent, so it's really going to color this well. Let me see if I can, here's the artisan powder that I was referring to. This one's Merlot. It's by Frank Garcia. So it's a really highly concentrated powder. You would have to probably add more if you want a more concentrated color. But something like this would work too. Dyes, yes, dyes would work, absolutely. So I do recommend you guys try those out and see what the results are going to be. I'm sure they're going to be amazing. Well, I apologize for all the internet problems today, but I hope that you were able to get the gist of what I was trying to communicate to you, and how awesome the modeling material is, and how awesome the 3D fiber paste is. These are basically my brand new favorite products of all time, and anything else we come out with is going to be really hard to beat these. And you know, I'm not just saying that because I work for them, but I'm saying that because it's true. It is absolutely true. Is the chalk paste available now? Hi, Kim. Yeah, the chalk paste is in stores now. Yes, absolutely. The stores are running out of colors because Prima is also, we've seemed to have sold out as well, and it will be back in stock soon. But I know there are stores that have it, so you should be able to get it. Absolutely. Okay, is there anything else I need to go over? I mean, I feel bad about the interruptions, but I hope that I did exactly what I had to do today. And if you have to go back and rewatch, maybe I'll just, you know, I don't know what I'll do, but it would be nice to splice those three together. So maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll be able to do that. Okay, and then that would be wonderful. All right, guys. So thanks so much for tuning in. I will do I'll do a whole separate Facebook Live on the new molds. Okay, so if you missed part of that, or you didn't get to see them all, I have them all now. So I will go through all of these probably I don't know, I could do it tomorrow or Friday. And we can just play with those, and I can show you the modeling material again with these and just kind of show them off for you. So stay tuned for that, and I'll make an announcement here in the group. Also, we have a new YouTube channel. It's called Redesign with Prima DIY. Okay, so we are hoping that everyone will subscribe because we're going to host all of our Redesign with Prima videos there, all the techniques and projects and things all in one place. And we're going to have a giveaway from all the subscribers. So if you're subscribed, you're going to be in the bucket of, you know, people who are eligible to win. Okay, so make sure you go subscribe. It's on YouTube, Redesign with Prima DIY. And we're going to have a giveaway for just our subscribers on our YouTube channel coming up very, very soon. But I'm kind of giving you guys a heads up, okay? All right, so thank you. Thank you so much for listening to me blab. And for your patience. I really appreciate it. And I'll be around in a little bit just to go over anything if you missed it, okay? Thank you.